is to promote the growth of Tigres in English through analysis, discussions, interviews, and more. Welcome to the La U Times podcast. And we're back. Little post-game show for you guys tonight. Fresh off another victory in Conca Champions. Another semifinal appearance for our beloved Tigres. Welcome to La U Times. I'm Dennis, the producer, and sometimes host of the show. Tonight I am, apparently. And very happy to be joined by my great friend down in Austin, Mr. Lou, who him and I got to hop on the LA Galaxy pod last night. How are you, my friend? How are you feeling after the game?
What's up, Dennis? The heartbeat's starting to finally settle down. That was wild, man. I did not expect that high of a scoring game. We did predictions last night. You did what, 1-0? I did 1-0 or 2-0.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was going to be this wild.
Yeah.
But it's Tigres. We can always expect to be miserable and suffer throughout the game.
Si no es sufrir, no es de Tigres, bro.
That's right.
As we all know. If you're watching on Twitter, on YouTube, thanks for being here. Join us in the chat. I'm for real. Like, it's way more fun when y'all drop in your takes and your comments about the game and whatever happens in the chat. So come hang out in the chat. We are going to be joined by Woodsy here in a second. Hopefully in the next few minutes. I'm waiting on him to hop in the link. So we will be a three-man crew here in a second. But as we just watched, Tigres 3, LA Galaxy 2 in the second leg in Monterrey, which means that Tigres advanced to the semifinals of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They will play the winner of tonight's Cruz Azul and America matchup, which will probably end in about 2 hours. Arnoldo, our beloved host, checking in saying Tigres, 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 first comment of the night. I imagine that Alfred at Tigres Takes and Mr. Edgar. Oh, speaking of Edgar, here he is right now. What's going on, my man?
Glad to be back with you guys. Minor technical difficulties, but we're here.
Hey, that's okay. How you feeling after that thriller of a match?
I can breathe now. I was going through it for a minute.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, let's start with the lineup. Obviously, the big surprise wasn't even necessarily who was in the starting lineup. It was Cordova not even making the bench. But Romulo came in because Angulo's injury kept him out completely, and Antuna started again. So, Lou, I'll start with you, my friend. At about 7, 8 o'clock, whenever this lineup first came out, what were your initial thoughts to all this?
Solid lineup. I thought I liked that back line a lot. I still think Chuy Garza could be better than Lainez, but Lainez proved why he's in the conversation tonight. He had a solid game. But I really like Zwarg in that sweeper role with Purata as a stopper. I think that combination works really well. So really happy to see that combination back there. Overall, the lineup I thought was solid. It's a competitive lineup. I didn't think we'd get anything out of Antuna, so it's a plus that we got a goal out of him.
That's
he
right.
Finally broke the streak. So I was looking at Rafa Dato, who's a guy who keeps up with stats on Twitter, and he was saying that he hadn't scored since August of 2024 in League Cup game against Mazatlan. So it'd been forever since he had scored, and he had never scored with Tigres. So that's a positive for sure. Hopefully anything we can get out of him is a plus at this point. So hopefully that continues.
Absolutely. Edgar, before I get to you, time to bring in our man from across the pond. Woodsy is here. My friend,
boy Woodsy, man.
I know it's like
boys.
I know it's 4 a.m, my friend over there. How are you feeling after watching that match?
Yeah, you've been doing your research, aren't you? But tactical power nap for the game. You know what I mean? I miss doing shit like this. We got through, didn't we? I'll let you lads take it away for a minute because I need to sort this fucking telly out. Do you know what I mean? But no, I'm happy with it, bro. I'm happy with it.
I got you. Edgar, your thoughts on the lineup when it came out, and tell me your thoughts on this Sebastian Cordova situation, because him not even making the bench was obviously the bombshell news that came out before the match started.
Yeah, so overall, I was relatively content with the lineup. I mean, the only asterisk for me was Antuna, just because we hadn't really seen good form from him. We hadn't really seen anything from him. I mean, as you guys just pulled out the stats, hadn't scored with Tigres, hadn't scored in a very, very long time. But again, really the only other, I guess, alternative may have been Marcelo Flores getting thrown in there, and they're just shuffling pieces around. But I liked it. I think it was really good. I think it was one of the most competitive lineups we could have offered for the night. And it's really concerning that Cordova was not even on the bench. I mean, you can't justify saying you're saving him for a Clasico when, one, he's kind of been shown as not one of Pizarro's elements to count on. And, we're playing a semifinal. It's not, a group stage match. It's where you would expect all of your pieces to be available.
Yeah, it's not surprising. I think that this has been brewing ever since that first week of Pizarro's coaching tenure started. It had been brewing because once we figured out that he wasn't playing much, I think we could all see this coming. I am surprised it came now, to be honest. And maybe he could have been useful at some points tonight. Obviously, we got the results, so I'm not going to dig too deep into the weeds there. But it's interesting at a crucial week that Guido decides to leave him off now, and that bench, would have been better suited if he was there, because boy, the options were real limited. Thankfully, it worked out, but yeah, it was interesting. You guys want to go half by half? Let's start with the first 10 minutes, because obviously that was the big swing in the game when Lainez, who should have had a hat trick of assists tonight if not for an offside call in the second half, his first assist in the night, beautiful cross to Nico Ibanez for that first goal, and then less than a minute later, Antuna scoring his first goal, as you mentioned, Lou, with the club after signing in August. Woodsy, I'll throw it to you. I don't know how much you got to catch of the first half, but tell me your thoughts on what you saw and just how the boys started tonight.
No, I saw most of the game. I only missed the first 10 minutes. So I was like, I was setting an alarm, wake up downstairs, coffee. I wake up 2-0. I'm like, sound sweet. So it's so obviously I pinpointed last week that it's fairly evident that what Guedo's trying to do is trying to use the width a lot, and obviously trying to get the centre midfields involved. Obviously I did mention Gorialan on that side as well, them little 1-2s that I thought he was gonna link up with Jesus Garza, but obviously on that side he's really persisting with this Diego Lainez move on the wing back. Obviously didn't quite work against Club America. Maybe it's part of the process. He's trying to mould him in, trying to obviously get his defensive acumen up there a little bit, because that cross he put in for Nico Ibanez. So the way you dissect that goal, which I don't need to do it now, because obviously last week I pinpointed our style of player, how I think we can get at LA Galaxy. Obviously I did pinpoint as well Ibanez, that pace running at Jorgensen, like I said, pensioner, can't run, no legs. It was a tactical masterpiece, as well as a really well taken finish by Ibanez. It was a class goal, and Antuna coming out of hibernation to his Tigres career, better late than never. You know what I mean? So why not? And then the third goal as well, just Romelu getting in the box. Who obviously I didn't think he was that great. So albeit playing in a bit of an unfamiliar position in defence, is more of a midfield player, but he got his goal at the end of the day, didn't he? But obviously it was a bit of a tougher game than it should have been. That Justin Painsil, mate, I wanted to strangle that little bastard through the TV. Honestly, these little players, this is what we need to be wary of when going through the rounds of this stock. I swear to God, these fucking players, right, who just sit there, he doesn't want to get on the ball. He's just lurking on the back line. Ooh, let me pounce on mistakes. Doing all this shit. Fuck off, honestly. Right, but I'm so glad we've knocked them out. Right, that's obviously the element of the champion players they've got. But obviously we need to I think we can win it, but obviously we just need to make sure we're a bit sharper, a bit more focused to avoid plays like that, because he won't be the first that'll do that sort of shit to us. But no, yeah, happy we're through.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I was gonna point this next question over to Lou, but it appears that Alfred has arrived to the party, and here he is now. How many Shiners have you drinking tonight, my friend?
A few. I can't say how many.
Hashtag sponsored tweet.
That's amazing.
Hell yeah, Shiners are the best, man.
We got the Shiner shout out. I'm eating a burger that I shall not name because, as Lou said in our little group chat, all the people in
No,
Texas would
this
get
is
mad.
Whataburger Nation, bro.
I
Don't
can't
even
hear
bring
you
that up.
guys anymore. I think I lost audio. Hold on.
Uh oh. Well,
Hold on. I think I lost audio.
okay.
Well, we get them back, then it's everything that we lacked in that first game, we brought to the table in this first half.
Yeah, dude.
Tonight. We lacked pace. We were slow in the build-up in that first leg, and I thought there was a sense of urgency from the boys tonight. They understood the assignment. They understood what was on the line, and then they came through for us tonight. What worries me quite a bit still with the squad is the mistakes when playing out the back. There's still a lot of errors, mainly passing errors when we get pressed. So we're going to have to fix that, especially against tougher opponents, because you just can't allow teams back in the game, and when you're playing in a tight game, when there's eliminations on the line, you have to be sharp. And it's becoming consistent that we're seeing Joaquin become the guy that makes those mistakes. So he's going to have to be sharper. Um, Thankfully, there's competition. So we have Angulo, we have Purata. So there's options there in case he can't get it fixed. So hopefully we see that happen. But tonight, I felt like the game got complicated because of our unforced errors. If we had just been sharper, I think we would have been able to put this game away tonight.
I am bummed out at how progressively worse Joaquim has gotten with his passing. He wasn't known as a good passer when he was in Brazil, but he had not been like bad really, like after the first week that he was here, back in the fall. And this season it's just kind of been like a steady decline. I mean, I know that Nahuel slipped on that first goal by LA, but that doesn't happen if Joaquim puts more pace in that pass. Like that's just not
Yeah.
that's not a pass that you mess up in this high stakes of a game. So I'm with you there.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because it's a new system. I think he's going through an adjustment period, and so I'm gonna give him a break just because, the transition that we've seen. I think Pizarro is asking more of him now. Under Pauno, I think he was more of just pure defender, and now he's being asked to kind of help with the build up, help play out the back, and I think that's kind of complicated things for him. I think he'll come around. I have confidence in him.
Yeah, and it's something that he needs to work on anyway, just to be a better player. And he's young enough to where it's totally fine. Um, any other thoughts on just how shaky the first half was, Edgar? Like the end of it specifically, with how we kind of lost control and the errors and just kind of an uneasy feeling going into halftime.
Yeah, definitely something that's going to need to be worked on in the coming days, and for sure next week. In the semifinals, regardless if you get America or Cruz Azul, can't slip up like that. And even going into the Liguilla as well, those are mistakes that we've got to fix if we want to keep moving forward.
This team, I think, is lacking an understanding of the moment of the games, and especially closing out the half. There needs to be a point where we transition into finishing the half strong instead of inflicting more damage on the opponent. You're up 2-0. It's the 49th. It's the 40th minute. There's only 5+ minutes left in that first half. Let's close it out strong. You go in at halftime up 2-0. It's a totally different game than 2-1. And I think that the team needs to understand those moments and be able to close out when it's the end of the half. So I think that's what killed us against America too. And so maybe that's a learning thing also, that when we watch film that Pizarro can bring up to the players to be able to close strong.
I think Alfred's back in now. Can you hear us okay, my friend?
I can hear you now. Hopefully for good.
Okay, good. Your immediate reaction to everything. I'm sure you may say something that we've already said, but since this is your first time speaking, now tell us your post game thoughts.
I think it was, fairly well handled. Just in the overall aspect of just both legs. Um, we need to give Pizarro, enough credit. In the end, we thought that, maybe we needed to get a win at Galaxy and LA, but uh, they were a little bit more conservative. Making sure that we just came back without any negative result. And then here, they came out the gate, you know, killing it. So I was happy to see that. I think the mistakes killed us. Obviously, the worst part, or at least the part of their team that is lacking most right now is their defense. Maybe that's going to be corrected with Angulo in there. I really think that Swarg is not comfortable, or at least not yet, in that position. So that really affects us, and he left a lot of wide open spaces. When he was trying to like move up front, and aside from that, I thought we controlled the game. I thought it was a very well managed game. You really can't do much. I mean, who else are you going to bring in off the bench? There wasn't really enough options. So I think we did good. Maybe with a little bit more accuracy, we could have gotten a couple more goals. So I'm happy. I'm happy with the result. That's all we need. We needed a win. It's not like we can expect right now to be shutting out rivals, or getting these big 3-0, 4-0 results. I don't think we can expect that out of this team just yet.
All right, a question for the group as a whole. Something that was talked about on the FS1 broadcast tonight, with Lou's favorite broadcaster, Keith Costigan. They kept on bringing up that Pizarro was under some pressure. And I honestly don't know where that narrative is coming from. Like, yeah, the team had gone 3 games without scoring a goal, but I don't think that his job was in danger this week. Am I missing something, or what? Why do we think that that narrative was kind of being explained on the broadcast?
I don't think his job was on the line per se, but there is a certain segment of the fan base that was making a lot of noise over our lack of scoring. Um, and I think they were getting more vocal. And I think had tonight had been a 0-0 game, or we'd gotten eliminated, I think those voices would have gotten louder and more people would have joined. I have a friend that says that humans are sheep, that if one starts buying, all of them do it. And that's like Twitter for you, right? When somebody starts saying something about Pizarro, and then all of a sudden everybody starts joining in. And I think that's what was happening this week with Pizarro. And I mean, unjustified. I don't believe it for 1 second. I think this team is really solid and poised to challenge for both cups, in my opinion. And I think, in my opinion, we'll take at least one. But I think those voices were getting louder, and I think it gets to them as well, so they can hear it. They can hear what's going on. I was hearing a lot of stuff that we heard under Chima. Oh, this guy's inexperienced. This guy doesn't have a system. All the same things we were hearing under Chima, I was starting to hear again, and it's just annoying.
I will say, interestingly enough, on the VIX broadcast, because I was not fortunate enough to listen to the FS1 broadcast, Vladimir Garcia pointed out that on the same subject, the front office is backing Guido Pizarro, that his continuity and his position was not on the line regardless of tonight's result, that they believe in the long-term project, and that all signs point to him being our manager for the next season. So I really don't know where this narrative came out of, but I do agree with Lou. I know a lot of conversation points about the lack of goal and the lack of results have been on social media, and potentially that's maybe why the FS1 broadcast was bringing that up.
I think a lot of it is also pushed. The narrative is being pushed by multimedios and RG, and so maybe a lot of the echoes that we see on social media are a lot of people that listen to those
Yep.
other media outlets that tend to not be so much in our favor, or always want to stir the waters.
Pura drama. That's all they want. That's all they want. I think it's
Chicharrón, chicharrón.
that's right. That's right. Um, second half thoughts. The highlights there. Romulo's goal, which was great. Offside goal from Purata. Um, LA getting a second goal, and then one of the funnier bits of tonight. Woodsy, I'll kick it to you to start off talking about the second half. Um, Paintsel and Nahuel, their little jawing back and forth, and eventually Paintsel getting a yellow card for tackling Nahuel and all that. Just thoughts on that second half and the kind of stressful few minutes there was towards the end, especially.
Yeah, well, like I said, obviously we could have closed it a bit smoother, but in that second half, we knew he was going to come out, with a rocket up the arse. So that obviously shows the experience of the squad as well. Now well in goal. Obviously, Carioca is taking the ball around the midfield, so we do have that experience to also close out a game as well. Although I would like to see that smoothened out a little bit more since we are going through a transitional process. But yeah, overall, you get the job done. You can't complain. They're still MLS champions yet at the end of the day, so they'll have the heritage, they'll have the know-how how to sort of like grind through these sort of fixtures. So it was two sort of veteran teams, I guess you could say, going up against each other. We were just a better suited, and obviously we're taking this competition a lot more seriously than Liga Mekis, as I see, because it seems to be like rotating in the league every see what we can try and get out of that. As we can develop any of the younger players, such as Barra, for example, I think in the long term it'll be a massive benefit for us. We still want to go out and win it. Don't get me wrong, but I think Weirdo does have the right mindset to try and prioritise this CONCACAF Champions League. So we can try and finalise something out of that before we can move on to next season, have a full reset. I came on last week. I was just after Copa America, I was criticising Guedo a little bit tactically. I don't want to make out like I'm just coming here bashing him, but it was after such a disappointing loss. I don't know what anyone else expected. So just to clear up any confusion, I fully back him, and I will back this obvious mindset that he's got to sort of prioritise trying to get something out of the CONCACAF Champions League. Also sneak a little way into the Club World Cup in the next 4 years or so as well. Hopefully by then would have integrated a few more youth players. Obviously, he would have got his tactical style more integrated into the players. But look, we saw it out. I think from this Liga Meki side, obviously he'll know just as well as us. Like, he's not stupid. He's a fully licensed coach, isn't he? So it's going to be on the training ground. There's going to be defensive drills. There's going to be one-on-one marking drills. There'll be all of that. So I'm hoping throughout the season it smoothens out. But we definitely have the capabilities of winning this tournament as well. And if I'm not, what was the because Cuba America and Cruz Azul are playing second. Oh, they're playing now. So hopefully
It's a
Cruz Azul
minute
can
and
do
a half into that game.
yeah, so I might have to switch. I might have to switch that on. We know what Club America. We know what we're like with them as well. So hopefully he'll see Cruz Azul. Hopefully they can do a number on them little fuckers, and then we can go ahead and we can try our luck.
I agree. We do have a special comment coming from, I believe, if I remember correctly, this is the husband of I'm already forgetting her name.
Christy.
Yes, Christy from Cincy Soccer Talk. This is her husband saying, was rooting the whole time for Tigres from Cincy, win the whole damn thing. Thank you, my friend. Very much appreciated. And then we have Frank from Houston saying, hello from Houston, Tigres fan, born and raised in the H. So shout out to you, my friend, as well. Chat, while you're here, drop your answers for who's the player of the game. While I ask to group that, because I think there's a few candidates here. I think there's one overwhelming answer that I think we could all say based on his offensive contribution. But who do you guys want to shout out for their performance tonight?
Lainez, for me, I thought he was exceptional tonight. He was very active, defensively solid. On the attack, he participated. He contributed to most of our goals tonight. So I think he's got to get the shout for me.
I got to throw in tuna sandwich. I mean, I really wasn't expecting. I was making jokes about it before the game, and I
For
grew.
all the haters, for all the haters, as Arnoldo
I'm
said
still
earlier.
here. I'm still here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a start. It's a start in the right direction, the direction we want him to be in. We don't want to be talking smack about him every week or complaining.
Okay, but tell me, what else did he do in the game besides the goal? Like he
Hey, bro,
scored and then he disappeared for 90 minutes.
he was dead and now he showed some kind of sign of life, bro. We got to give it to him.
I mean, besides that, he stressed me out because I said if he scored a hat trick, I would buy his jersey. So I was a little worried there. He might just pop in for 10 seconds and make something happen.
Hilarious. Frank saying Lainez is his answer as well. Shout out Edgar's dog in the background as well. Anyways, I want to shout out Nahuel because low key, some big saves into the first half.
Yeah.
Sprinkled here and there in the second half as well. I thought he was also a little bit too risky on some of the set pieces where he came out a little bit too far. And I thought, man, if that hits in a different way, then maybe it's a wide open net for LA. But I think he deserves a shout as well. And Aquino got beat up, bruised up all night long, and he still fought the good fight and put in a really solid performance, nuestro soldado. So I want to shout out him as well. But I think the very positive, the very obvious answer is Diego Lainez. So unless
Yeah,
Woodsy has a
clear
different
candidate.
answer. So
Raimundo Fulgencio.
I'm surprised he made the bench. That's all I'll say. Frank
Woodsy,
saying
I'm the one that's drunk here. What's going on, man? Why you?
I'm just speaking facts here, Alfred. The work rate on the bench and that.
oh man, that's great.
Get
And
support from the bench.
there's your man, your dog is really in there, Edgar.
Yeah. No boundaries, no personal space.
That's great. Frank saying hello, shout out to Alfred. Met him on the trip to LA. I thought that was very cool that y'all like ran into each other at the airport and now y'all have gotten to spend some
Yeah.
time together and all that. So
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy, and he's actually got quite a few friends here in the H. They go for Tigres. They hang out and watch the game together all the time. So hopefully we'll be hanging out more. I gotta say, obviously, Linus is the obvious answer, but man, I gotta give my props to Carioca. I don't know about y'all, but to me, it just seems like if we're really gonna let Carioca go, we gotta go and find a younger Carioca because
Good
this
luck with
team,
that, man.
like everything revolves around Carioca. From defensively, offensively, the whole pace of the game. I don't know. I did not see anybody else take control of the game and take control of the playing, out the back as much as Carioca did. Not even Bruneta. Bruneta seemed, I guess you could say that Bruneta in the first few games he kind of picked up a rhythm, and then once Guido decided to change in position and bring Gorriaran back and push Bruneta, up. It kind of seems like he lost that. So hopefully he'll find himself again in that center midfield position, because I thought Carioca was the one that was ruling the midfield.
you could tell the difference in experience, the difference in class between him and LA's midfield, like by himself, right? Not that that's a bad midfield. I mean, it's completely different than the midfield they had last year, considering Ricky Puig ain't there and Delgado's at LAFC. But Carioca, like, especially the first half, just like dog walked him respectfully. Like it was a an operation and how to play the midfield that I don't think LA had seen before. So final thoughts on this game and on our advancement before we talk the big game on Saturday, another big game.
I'll
I
say
have one.
this.
I have
and
one.
it's-
Okay, I'll let you talk first, Lucas. I'm changing the subject a little bit.
Okay. I mentioned it last week, but since I wasn't on the pod, I'll mention it now. I feel like we're going back to the Tuca days. This team is pacing itself. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but they didn't go full throttle in leg one. They didn't go full throttle against Puebla. This team is back to pacing themselves, and dude, and I love it, man. I know the fans don't care for that. I know it's not their cup of tea, but to me, that's what brought us championships, man. The fact that the team knew how to pace themselves throughout the season, when to pick their spots, and I'm seeing it again. I think Pizarro kind of learned some tricks from Tuca, and he's implementing them with the squad. So I have really high hopes for this squad, man. I think we're gonna do well this season.
All right. And just to go back to what Woodsy was saying, kind of what caught my attention from what Woodsy said was he pointed out that he wants us to go all for the Conca, right? I think the general mindset amongst, I guess, at least everybody here in Mexico and in the States, is that we want the league title. That's our priority. But obviously Woodsy, he sees it from a different perspective, and he's saying we should go for the Conca. I would like to go more into depth into that. Woodsy, why do you think we should put it all in, put all our eggs in the basket for the Conca?
No, normally I like to prioritise League over Conquer as well, and this season would be no different. But I can see why Guido's doing it, because he thinks he's got a better chance of winning it with the experience in the squad, so he can develop in the summer. That's my thoughts on it, basically.
Okay,
Fair enough.
see that. Very good.
I forgot I was muted. All right. Let's talk Saturday. A very, 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 very important day on Saturday. If you've been living under a rock, then here is us telling you that the Clásico Regio is going on Saturday night in Monterrey at our stadium this time, because it was played at the neighbors in the fall. Two very interesting situations with both clubs. I don't want to get into what's going on with the Penguins, but if you want to figure that out, you can. Although it is very funny. It's very hilarious, actually. And all I'm gonna say is I'm happy that their coach is still around, because maybe we can send him off this weekend on a good note for us. Anyways, I mean, we haven't won this game in what feels like forever. And Gignac said it yesterday at the press conference for the restaurant, which we'll talk about that at the end of the show. I think the team's out for revenge, and he said that, explicitly said revenge. And yeah, I mean, we haven't won this game in such a long time, and there's a sense of purpose to right that wrong now. So whoever wants to go first, go ahead. General thoughts on just where we're at heading into this derby game.
They've had the better games the last three games, and
Cruz Azul go.
oh, let's see, dude, you're like 10 seconds ahead of me. Oh wow, golazo. Interesting,
Wow. Yeah, what a finish.
interesting. So
Kudos.
potentially, if they don't do a Cruz Azul thing, they could be advancing. We could be facing them.
And that would make the road easier, like Wood say, for us to get that.
Yeah, no doubt. I think Cruz Azul. Well, America has had our number, and so I think Cruz Azul would be a better matchup for us, no doubt. Going back to this Rayados Clásico, Dennis. I think the guys in the locker room know, right? This is the time. It's the time. Rayados is bleeding, and there's blood in the water, and our squad's full of sharks, man. I think we're gonna come out and really lay it to them. I think this is one of those games that I think could end up being epic. One that we remember later on. I think it's a great chance to step on them while they're down, and then get their coach fired, like you mentioned. I think it's an important game, and also sets things in place for Liguilla coming up. It's important for us to finish at least in the top four to be able to be at a good spot for that Liguilla run.
Thoughts on what the lineup could look like? Are we expecting Angulo and Ociel to be back in the fold by then? Um,
Angulo, yes, definitely. Like I mentioned earlier in my initial comment, I think Swarg is not yet ready to fill that position. I would much rather, I would feel safer if we go back to Purata being the sweeper, with Angulo as the left stopper and Joaquin as the right stopper.
okay. Does Antuna keep his place after tonight's performance? Edgar Woodsey, what is your answer to that? Because I think it's a fair question. He got a goal. There's an argument.
No, no, not for a Clasico. If we were playing Pumas or another team, mid-table team, maybe you start him to kind of keep that momentum going. But it's a Clasico. You gotta put out your best 11.
I'll say this about Antuna, man. I was watching Pello earlier in the week. He's got an 8 a.m. program that he live streams on YouTube, and he
Sponsored by
mentioned
Monkey Papas.
that's right. And he was mentioning that Antuna is putting in the work in practice, and that's encouraging at least that he hasn't given up. He went through a really bad streak and he continues to put in the work. So that's a positive in his favor. I feel like we can't probably say the same about Cordova, right? Who probably has more talent than him, and Cordova is a guy that
Not
I feel like
probably.
is yeah he is more talented, and sadly Cordova, we could use him a lot more in important games in Liguilla. He's I think he's a would have been a critical piece of this team had he wanted it, and it just appears that he just doesn't have the desire to do so. So to me, at least I got to give props to Antuna in that regard. But I didn't see anything tonight really that say, oh man, Antuna is back and he's the guy moving forward. He hasn't won his spot. He's gonna have to continue working. And like I said, a goal is a goal. So hopefully that brings back some confidence and we can see better games from him.
I would bring back Garza on the left wing,
Okay.
and then put Linus up top.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like that's the one combination that Guido hasn't tried that I think might work. You leave Garza at the left wing back spot and play Lainez further up the pitch. And the good thing with Lainez is that he can play both wings. So if you wanted to play him where Antuna played last night, you could, and he pairs up well with Aquino. So you got options there. I think it would be nice to see.
Do you know? I think like one of the first things I said when Guido took charge of the team is it's a full reset for every player in the squad. Whether we rate them or not. Even for people like me and my best mate Diego Reyes. You know what I mean? So it's a fresh start for all the new players, regardless of your opinions. And obviously that includes Antuna. He's coming. Or he's got his goal. I was with Alfred. What he said before. What did he do away from the goal? Sort of thing. Like I do get that, but you can commend the effort at least. So hopefully you can build on that. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily want to see him as a starting player from now. That doesn't mean he can't work towards getting there in the future. Maybe this is his confidence builder. But yeah, not for now. But hopefully in the future.
So we're rolling with back three of Angulo, Purata, Joaquim, per use, right? Are we rolling with Chewy at left back? Is that our consensus answer?
I think he set it up that way, right? I think he set it up to basically rest him so he could start. At least that's what I feel like. Guido sort of rested him to let him play perhaps a full 90 against Rayados.
Plus, he still gives us what, like 20% use minutes. So
Yeah.
And we're not that far off from that now. Like 200 away.
yeah, I mean, against Rayados, we're really not going to get that many. I'm sure we're not going to see Parra come in unless we're winning comfortably, and then maybe he could see the last 10, 15 minutes. Aside from that, I don't think Parra's coming in. I don't think Marcelo, with the state of or the way he's played lately, I don't think he's coming in. He's not fit for a Clasico. We'll probably see him back against who we got afterwards, Pachuca or Pumas.
Pachuca first, I think.
Pachuca, yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's when we see Marcelo back. I don't think he's the guy to put in for the Clasico. I would even put Ociel, who's coming back, I guess, from injury. I would even put Ociel over Marcelo, but I would start with Linus up top.
Okay. So Chewy, Aquino, the wingbacks, midfield stays the same of Gori and Bru and Carioca, right? And then Ibanez, Lainez. That's what we got going on. Was anybody else surprised that Para wasn't even in the squad tonight either? I just remember that he wasn't even listed on the bench.
Oh, I did not know. I thought he was on the bench. I didn't even
No.
notice that.
No.
I think, like Lou mentioned, I mean, you just gotta, you gotta save him. He's your guy that's gonna give you all the youth minutes. You can't risk him.
Yeah. No. Interesting. Okay. Frank saying they will make up the time in the last game. All the bench will start. Okay, so he's saying against Pumas that we'll go all out with the kids.
Just to clarify, I don't think we can get all the minutes in one game, but yeah, they'll definitely try as many as possible.
Yeah, you'll need to get a fair amount between the next two, so that way you're not in the super dire position against Pumas in that last game. But again, we're really close. That Puebla game really helped, really did. Shall we make predictions on Saturday or for Saturday?
Let's do it.
Woodsy, I'll start with you, my friend.
Oh, you put me on the spot here, mate. I've not even done hang on. Can you roll
Oh, you
through
need
the other
research?
candidates,
No,
mate?
go with your heart.
I haven't.
Go with your
Go with
heart.
my heart.
What do you
Go with
think?
my heart. 2-1. 2-1.
All right. Alfred, and then Edgar, and then Lou, and then me.
I actually like Wood's result. I think his prediction is on point. 2-1 is a good score.
Edgar?
I'm gonna say 2-0.
3-1. Tigres.
My man, look at you. The last
And a coach gets fired, Dennis.
and it's not gonna be Guido. Our last, what is it? Frank saying 3-1. Thank you, Frank. Anybody else got predictions in the chat? Throw them up. I feel like every game that we've played at home the last month or so, we scored at least 3 goals or 2 goals, right? Because we scored 3 tonight. We scored 3 against Cincinnati? Scored
3 against Santos.
3 against Santos.
Querétaro was what? 1-0?
1-0, 2-0. I don't know. They scored. We scored more home, and we're home. And
Yeah, we're definitely a home team.
And the revenge factor, I think, is very, very. It's a real thing, as Gignac said it. Boy, I wish he was playing this game so badly. But on that note, I will say 2-0. I'm gonna go with Edgar. DFW boys stay united. Any other thoughts on Saturday or about Saturday?
Just get the carnita asada ready. Throw that steak on the grill. And let's get ready, man. Let's get ready. Should be a great matchup. The city's gonna be buzzing for sure.
Oh, I can't wait to get down there, man. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun.
And I know
Hey,
you.
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You in
Dennis.
the stadium. We should have.
That's
gonna change
what I'm
everybody's
asking. Okay.
predictions.
Did y'all mention that at the beginning of the pod? Are you going to the Clasico?
He's
I
going.
am. Yeah. We got tickets last night.
Changes everything.
All right. Let me go to Vegas right now. Put my money in.
And then you use that money to buy me an abono. Deal. Okay. No,
Hell
but
yeah.
I'm really excited to be there. It's actually my second Clasico because of the well, I guess third because of the friendly one in Houston a couple years ago, and then the Leagues Cup one, the stupid one from also a couple years ago.
Oh, so this is your official first Clasico.
Yes, yeah. Real deal in Monterrey, the way it should be. Um, I mean, voy a estar allá en Gallopa, ¿verdad? Pero like, still, like, I'm in the stadium. It doesn't matter. I'm very excited to be there. So, wish me luck on my travels, and hopefully the good luck charm will continue to be a
Hey
thing.
Dennis, we need some vlogs from you, bro. Some video, you out in the city with the camera,
All right. I
getting out
mean,
in front of fans, bro.
I just got a new
Do your
phone.
producer thing, bro.
I just got a new phone, so and I've got double the storage space that I had previously. So, um, we may be able to make that work. Frank saying, "Oh, a little PSA. The group I'm hanging with in Houston are doing a discada, and we're going to have a group playing after the game. Y'all are more than welcome to come. The people in Houston, y arriba la U." Okay, there you go, Houston people. There's your invite from Frank himself. So, if y'all need help figuring out how to get to that, let Alfred or I don't know though know because they're the Houston guys.
Yeah, reach out to us.
Yeah. I've just got a couple miscellaneous things that I just want to say or want to hit on real quick before we wrap up. Um, I kind of want to go away from Tigres from just a second. I gotta say, man, and I'm doing this because Woodsy's here, and I probably would have done this even if Woodsy wasn't here. But
Bro,
can we?
don't bring up Arsenal, bro.
No, bro. I have to bring up the goals, man. Like I have to bring up the fact that Declan Rice
Declan Rice, golazos.
just like I was subbing at a school today.
I'm
'Cause
on
that's one of
cloud
my
nine,
jobs.
Dennis.
Bro, I was subbing at a school today. It's one of my jobs. And I'm like watching the kids. I'm not really saying much. And it took everything in me not to like scream or like react audibly to especially the second one. Because I mean like the whip on both of them, the technique is unbelievable. And I know Woodsy, that's your team, and I mean, what a result against the defending European champions. I mean, can you talk about that as somebody who's over there and in England and watched that game live earlier today?
Yeah, I didn't give us a fucking prayer, mate. Honestly, we've been so consistent in the league. Honestly, it's just been we're sick of being the nearly men. The Champions League is not our tournament. We've got a history under Arsene Wenger getting knocked out in the most ridiculous ways, sometimes embarrassing ways. Monaco, Bayern Munich, and then you come up against these lot who have done it twice in the last 3 years. It's just like, regard, you've just seen how they got through against Atletico, who are a much more professional side than us. Honestly, it's just I can't. If we go to the Bernabeu and we blow it, then I might just kill myself. Alan, yeah.
Don't do that, please. Please don't. Frank saying those are the goals that Lucas Celerayan would have made for us.
Yeah, I gotta talk. Yeah, I gotta mention that because obviously, the whole free kick goals, brought up a conversation worldwide because we know that worldwide, like free kick goals have gone down, and it almost seems like it's this whole generation of footballers that do not. There's no specialty, free kick goalers. I mean, you don't have anybody that's a for sure, gonna score on a free kick goal. So man, it was so gratifying to see one of those. And like Frank is saying, I mean, we had one of those. Lucas Alarayan was like top notch, like 1 out of 3 free kicks he would put in the goal, and we let him go, unfortunately.
Well, do you know what
Guido
you've just
Pizarro.
that's like a general discussion for like do you know the general like footballing quality and ethos sort of thing, what you've just said there, Alfred? How people saying that the technical ability's gone down, it's all about system players pressing from the front, just Olympic sprinters sort of thing, and then we don't have these sort of players. So this is why we appreciate players like Gignac, do you know what I mean, who have got a fair suit, who can curl a ball, who can trap a ball sort of thing. But yeah, it's obviously a completely different conversation, but put it that way.
Lou, what were you gonna say?
That Guido Pizarro got asked which player he would love to have back on this team to coach, and it was Lucas Elarayan. And it's funny, like several players got asked, like kind of that question, who would you bring back out of the previous or former players, and Lucas Elarayan got mentioned. So I thought it was interesting that you guys are bringing it up. But I
I
think he
mean,
was a guy
because
that didn't get a fair shot at Tigres under Tuca too much.
but at the same time, like he was at a time at Tigres when we had the best roster. I mean, like we even had Vargas on the bench, riding the bench with Lucas Elarayan. So it was like, it was hard for Lucas Elarayan to find himself a spot. But obviously, yeah, I mean, we let go of a generational talent, at least, at Tigres. So
Yeah.
Oh, Dennis, before we head out, dude, I want to give a special shout out to Tigres Femenil. The schedule for CONCACAF got released for the May
Yes.
tournament. So if you're a fan, keep an eye on those dates, man. There's going to be some awesome games in Monterrey at El Volcán. So uh, be sure to go if you're in the city, or even if you're not, that's worth traveling to.
That was one of the other things I wanted to bring up. So let's talk about that real briefly. The semifinal games, they're both on the same night. As we all know, all the games are at El Volcán, which is awesome. I'm glad we're hosting all 4 of those games. The America Gotham game is the first game. I can't remember. I think it's a 5:30 local time or something like that, or Eastern time. And then the Tigres Portland game is the late game, so like 8:30 or whatever. And then on the following Saturday is the third place game and the final. And also, PSA, the tickets for that just dropped today. And boy, oh boy, they're very affordable. Very, very affordable for high stakes, high pressure games. I mean, games that decide the champion of that tournament and decide spots in the Women's Club World Cup that's about to be formed and all that. So if you can go, like, definitely go. I mean, it's like maybe $20 to go to both games or to both days, I think, or $30. Like that's really affordable to me. Um, Speaking of this tournament, Kivbot saying, well, first of all, with Celerayan. Ah, man, as a Cincy fan, Celerayan mentions are giving me war flashbacks to him at
Oh, that's
Columbus
right.
Crew.
Columbus Crew.
That is true.
Champion in his first season at Crew. That's right.
That's right. And also him saying, "See y'all there for the CONCACAF feminine tourney." Okay, there you go.
Nice.
We've already got
Nice. Well done.
some some traveling fans going down there. That's awesome. Frank saying, "It was a pleasure tuning into my first podcast. Looking forward to tuning in more. And arriba la luz siempre." Shout out to you, my friend. But yeah, if you can go to that, like, by all means, you should. I thought I was going to that, and then I may end up going to Boston that weekend. So I don't know if I'm gonna go, but we'll see. But that's
Get
a
your
whole nother.
priorities straight, Dennis.
Shout out my friends who wanted to want to get married that weekend. Blame it on them. Um, Last couple
yeah,
things. Sorry, go ahead,
yeah.
Al.
Just to mention, I mean, I'm so happy as well that we're gonna be hosting that tournament. Obviously, we're gonna have probably some New York Gotham fans down there, some Portland fans down there. So the more people we can get down to our stadium and for them to experience soccer life, football life in Monterrey, the better.
Absolutely. Um, the second most important thing that happened this week, besides the game today, was the restaurant that got announced, a Tigres themed restaurant right by where my family's at, nearby at Galerías in Monterrey. It's scheduled to be open, I believe, in the fall in October, if I remember correctly. So, what are we guessing for? In chat, help me out here too. What are we guessing for the menu items? Are we gonna get a Terceros pizza, a Pizarro,
Pizarro.
a Big Mac Gignac? What are some ideas for menu items you guys want to throw out?
I
Nah,
would be
dude, they better keep it
disappointed.
traditional, bro.
No,
Sorry,
I'll
Edgar,
be
go
utterly
ahead.
disappointed if there are not puns on this menu.
That's what I'm saying.
They need to
They should
hire.
put they should
They
put
need to hire
Edgar in
Edgar for
charge.
that. Yeah, for
Yeah,
real. Edgar would
Yeah.
nail it, man.
Yeah,
you'd
bro.
kill it.
I would love that so much. Um, Woodsy, what you got any funny ideas? Any puns you want to throw out for this menu? Did you even know that there was a restaurant being formed?
Probably didn't. You're you're giving him the news now.
Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me.
What's
Uh,
down, bro? It's
All
too
right.
late over there.
it's like well, it's like 5 in the morning over
Let's call it. Let's call it, Dennis.
there.
Hey, before we go, just I got a couple of from the vaults moments.
Wait.
Just want to make sure that
Dennis, man, were you just fucking speaking to me that entire time?
Yes, I was asking you if you knew anything about the Tigres restaurant that they're putting in Monterrey, and if you had any menu item name ideas.
Crickets. Let's go with
Oh,
the
my,
vault
my
moment.
thing's fucked, bro. Like, I'll be honest, my fingers are slow as fuck.
That's
All right.
okay. Go ahead, Alfred.
All right, from the vault. So on the 6th of April, 20 years ago, Tigres got their first victory in Libertadores. It happened in Argentina against Banfield, and we won 3-0 with goals by Cookie Silvera, Sixto Peralta, and Carlos Adrian Morales. All right. So good memories that came there a few days back, couple days back, about that first victory in Libertadores. And then we also have, well, this is gonna be saved as a for the vault moment for the future. Guido Pizarro in this upcoming Clasico on Saturday is gonna become the seventh player/coach to play and coach a Clasico. So prior to him, there was Mateo Bravo, who played and coached for Tigres, Bato Cleti, Luis Alvarez, Carrillo, Chima, and Siboldi. And now Guido Pizarro is also going to be added to that historical list.
Awesome.
Very nice. This is what happened with Woodsy. Sorry, my computer just started forcing a system update on me. Have a good night, boys. That's so unfortunate. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. My last thing before we go. If you want a jersey, today's a good week, or this week's a good week to buy one. If you can get a plug with Innova Sport down in Mexico, because all of this year's jerseys are on sale. Like you can get the home and away replicas for less than $50, and you can get the authentics for about $60. So yeah, get that going. Also, for real, last thing, the third kit for next year leaked this week. I, for one, am very excited about it.
Fire.
If you haven't seen it, listeners, if you're listening on podcast later, go check out our friend at Tigres Jersey on Twitter, and he posted all the details about it. If you're watching right now, though, I'm going to pull up the picture and show right here. It's a little homage to the World Cup. It's a black and green kit. It's inspired by the ball from the 1970 World Cup, which was, of course, hosted in our beloved Mexico. Thoughts, and who's excited to add to the tally of how much money have we spent on our team this year?
Definitely, definitely gonna buy. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I think it's a
Yeah,
must-have.
I like the second jersey they came out with. I know a lot of you guys didn't like it, the blue one. But now that I saw the third jersey, I'm like, oh man, now that blue one is not gonna get any sales because everyone's gonna go for the yellow and the third kit.
Yeah, I don't expect that blue one to be a popular
Man, I
choice.
like that blue one. I don't know why I'm on the minority there, but I like it.
It's
I
horrible,
like
but I
it too.
need.
It's very retro, very retro.
I think I side with Edgar. It's horrible, but maybe it's worth having just to say you have it, just for the memes, as the kids say.
Honestly, it's the home jersey that I'm not liking at all. That the franja here
It's
is
too
too.
basic too, man.
Yeah, dude. It's. I've seen the bootleg version of that and it doesn't look that great.
The only thing that makes that jersey semi worth it to get is the fact that it's going to be a long sleeve. That's about it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. All right, any last words?
Let's go get it. Let's go get it on Saturday, boys.
Yeah, man. I will eat chicharrones in y'all's honor as always.
Lovely.
Get a second try. Get it the Monkey Papa sponsorship, man.
Oh yeah, true.
Go get us some sponsors, Dennis.
Yeah. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. All right, let's get out of here. Look at us topping out at just about an hour. Hey, if you're watching with us right now, if you have been watching, thanks for being here. If you're listening on podcast later, thanks for listening. We appreciate y'all's interactions with us tonight, and thanks for joining us on a post game show. If y'all think we should do these more often, let us know. Maybe we start doing this a little bit more often here and there. Maybe not all the time, but maybe for the big games we do this. We'll see. Don't forget to follow the podcast at La U Times on Twitter at La_U_Times. And also you can find us on Spotify, on Apple, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, all the places. You can follow Lou at Tigres_English. You can follow Alfred at Tigres Takes. I don't know why he has his personal handle up there on the screen this week. It's probably because
he came under the influence. Didn't want to damage the
drunk,
brand,
guys.
bro.
It's all because the
drunk, guys.
Shiners. It's all because
I'm not on my I'm not on my personal laptop. I jumped on my wife's computer.
He says that right
the whole
now
thing.
his words don't represent Tigres Takes.
And you can follow Edgar at Double L Nation. And you can follow me at Dennis Garvin Jr. because I don't have a Tigres account. And yeah, we'll be back next week talking whatever happens on Saturday with Clasico Regio. And we'll look forward to the next couple league fixtures. Any femenil news, anything that happens with Tigres, we got y'all. So y'all stay tuned in. Don't forget to share, subscribe, follow, hit the like button, all the things. As we continue to talk about our beloved team in Inglés. Till next time, arriba la U. Boys, thanks so much.
Peace.
If it'll let me end the stream. This is awkward. I can't end the stream.
Arriba la U, arriba la U.
Somebody stall while I try to end the
We
stream.
gotta-
I'm gonna start chanting.
Vamos
Tigres chant.
Tigres, te quiero ver, campeón.
Let me do this.
This is how we're gonna end the pod at from now on. Vamos Tigres.
Did we just lose
Quiero ver.
Dennis? Did we just lose
lost
the
our
host, bro?
producer. Now we
Bro,
don't
we
have-
lost the
lost our
host and
producer.
producer, bro. That's it, man. We're closing it out.
Oh no!
All right,
Vamos
fellas.
Tigres.
All right.
Take care, guys.